Hi, welcome back to another episode of Coog Cinema Reviews. I'm Grace.
I'm Sylvia, and today we're going to be reviewing the Taylor Swift Eras Tour movie.
Yay! How did you feel when Taylor announced that she was doing an Eras Tour?
That was absolutely crazy, because for me, I never went to any of her concerts.
Really?
I never managed to get any tickets.
Oh my gosh.
I would register all of the members of my family. Never had any luck. But this was like incredible. Like for her to say all the eras, like I was like, no.
I was so thrown off guard, and I was like, I had always thought about it. I was like, oh, that would be so cool because she's put out so much music since the pandemic. And I was like, what was she gonna do with all of that music? Never perform it other than like when she performed like the Lover like era in London for like that one show. But other than that, I was like, we're not gonna get to see any of that live. The fact that I got to see Folklore live was insane, and how she just put it all together. I just remember thinking after the end, I'm like, how does she do this? Like, I can't even think how much mental, emotional, and physical stamina you have to do that.
Yeah, for
like,
sure.
I could never, like I stood the entire concert, but I was like, oh my God, I am so tired. I feel winded. I need to go to the gym.
Yeah. Imagine her.
Right?
She did a whole 3.5 hour
And she's
concert.
dancing, singing, and like the vocals are a 10 out of 10. So it's like, I don't even understand.
Exactly. Even just to memorize all the lyrics, I'm like, that's
Yeah,
crazy from
that
all
too.
the eras.
How does she not mess up? I mean, I understand it's her music and she wrote it, but still, I feel like I would be in my head about it.
Literally me.
And she's like perfect.
I know.
Like perfect.
She did everything what we wanted, because nobody ever got to like hear Folklore or Evermore, like that whole era. We didn't get in a concert or anything like that. Just to hear all of it put together, like, that's crazy.
Amazing. And Midnights to top it off. It was so great to see that at the end. It just felt so like feel good and like dancey, and I was like, aw, it's so cute.
She included it, especially at the end. Like, that's just crazy.
Yeah, it was perfect. It was like cherry on the cake.
Yeah.
I loved it.
How did you feel about the Eras Tour movie going to be in theaters rather than like how the Reputation tour was on Netflix?
I honestly thought it was such a great marketing idea. I have always said Taylor has been a businesswoman first before the artist. And I mean, that just kind of goes to show that she knows how much of an impact she has on like her entire fan base. I mean, and everyone showed up, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And as soon as I heard about it, I was like, oh my gosh, I have to go. Like, I get to relive this experience.
Really?
And
Yes.
honestly, as weird as it sounds, it was almost as good of an experience as the concert. Because it was like, you could really appreciate it. And I don't know, when I go to concerts, I low-key black out. Yeah. Like, I'm there, but then after I'm like, oh, what did I just do for like 3 hours? What happened?
What to do now?
Yeah,
What do I do?
and like I could also like really take the time to be like, oh my God, she sounds amazing. And not just be in shock the fact that I was actually at the concert. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
And plus like, also to get to experience it with everyone. Like I got to watch it with my sisters and my mom and my tias and my cousins, and I was like, oh my gosh, to get to do this with like family and like really enjoy it and have fun is like, oh, this is so cool.
Love that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I didn't get to go to the concert, but this was like my moment. Like,
Yeah.
okay, this is my chance
To appreciate
go to the
it and be like,
concert.
yes!
I get to see this live. Am I gonna dress all the way? Like, do the friendship bracelets, wear like whole outfit? Yes.
You should.
Exactly.
What did you wear?
I was inspired by the red era.
Yeah.
So I wore like the t-shirt I bought on Etsy. I bought one for my niece as well.
Aww.
And we wore like red sunglasses and like the hat that she wears.
That's so cute.
Yeah, and I was literally so excited. I'm like, we have to go as this, because, well, for me, that was like the era that like made me like want to get more into her music.
Yeah.
After that, did a deep dive, never went back.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
And it was over.
Yeah, for sure.
That's so cool. Oh my gosh. I've loved seeing everyone get to dress up and like, I don't know, have their own take on all of the costumes.
Yeah, for
It's
sure.
So cute.
Especially since like thousands like weren't able to go.
Yeah.
This was their moment.
And that's the thing that I loved when she announced that she was gonna have it like in the theaters. I was like, I know so many people who didn't get to go, and like it's no one's fault other than of course Ticketmaster.
They really did us dirty.
No, they really did.
We really feuding. But
Exactly. But I think that's so cool that she gave that opportunity to other people who didn't get to go watch it. So I'm like, that's really cool. And it was really smart, like I said.
yeah, she knows what she's doing.
She knows what she's doing. She knows what she's doing.
Literally.
She did it right.
Yeah.
What was your favorite performance?
Honestly, there's so many, but the first one that comes to mind is Champagne Problems.
Really? Oh my
Yes.
gosh, yeah? Okay, okay,
Like,
okay.
literally, I'm like, I'm not crying, you are.
Yeah, what are you talking about?
Literally, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, with my niece right beside me, and she's like, are you okay? I'm like, I'm good,
Yeah,
but
I'm
this
good.
is just my moment.
Give me a second, give me a
Yeah,
second.
I'll be right back, I promise. But with that, just hearing her live and just everybody knowing like the lyrics in the, because I was in the theater, right?
Yeah.
Everybody just knowing the lyrics, and we're all just singing together. together, like screaming and
Yeah.
chanting, and it was just a moment.
So cool.
That's the first one that came to mind.
I feel like I loved Tolerate It. Like, just the way she like had a whole choreography
Yeah.
designated for that song was beautiful. And like, she's such a theater girly because
Yes,
just the
you
way
can
she's
see
so
it.
dramatic and like you can tell she's so thoughtful, especially about that performance. I feel like she didn't give as much thought to the other songs as that one because you could tell like she had a designated performer with her for that song. And I remember watching it in a theater, I was like, oh my gosh, like this is so good.
Yeah.
And like I loved it 10 times more because of it. I mean, Tolerate It is already a great song, but I loved it for that. And also I have to give a shout out to Don't Blame Me.
Yes.
Because I was like, oh my, I just love the Reputation era.
Yes. Like just
But-
any of it.
Yeah.
Should there have been more songs? Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
no, totally, because I would have sat through the entire set of Reputation if she
All of
decided
it.
to.
Yes.
And I would be completely fine, I would not cry about it, you know? But getting to watch it and like have her do the high note and the choreography and the angles,
I know.
oh my God, she
The
looks so good.
transitions,
Yes.
everything. She just knew what she was doing. She
Yeah.
had it all planned out from the
I
beginning.
just feel like it's just like it's a whole other persona for her that she takes on, and it's so fun to see her be so dramatic and sassy with it. I don't know, I love it.
Yes.
So
same.
cool.
Especially Tolerator, you got me back thinking about
Yeah.
it. I'm like,
You're thinking about it now.
yeah, it's like replayed in my head because you got to see the perspective from like the guy as he entered the
Yeah.
stage, and I was like, that's freaking crazy. You get to see the whole stadium, and I was like, oh my God, it's like I'm watching a play. It's like I'm watching a movie.
That's what it felt like for
Yeah.
half a second, and I think that's what stood out about it because it almost felt like you were watching a play, which I love. It was immersive, and that's just couldn't ask for anything better.
Exactly. I'm just love. She included the whole song, right? It was the whole
Yeah.
song. I was like, oh my God,
Because
it's
there were
over already.
some she didn't do like the entire song, but for that one
Yeah.
she did. And I was like, I'm glad she did it justice.
for sure. Perfect.
Did you have a favorite album that she performed?
Out of all of them, there's just so many. But the first one that comes to mind, I would have to say Folklore.
Yeah.
I'm a folklore girl.
Me
I'm
too,
sorry.
me too.
Sorry, not sorry. I'm like, emotions get to me real quick.
Yeah.
And there's so many like deep songs in there, especially like, I can't think of so many, but like the first one that comes to mind is August.
Yeah.
And she did like a whole performance, her little run in it. I was like,
Yes. Oh
yes.
my gosh, just frolicking.
Literally, I was in the theaters like when my phone, I'm like, I'm ready. I need you to run. But it was just, I think that one's for me. What about you?
I would say, you know, I'm gonna be honest with you, when Midnights came out, I didn't love it. But for some
Really?
reason, over the past year, the album has grown on me so much.
Yeah.
And I feel like when I watched it, like at the concert, I didn't appreciate it as much. But now, when I went to go see like it in the movie theaters, I was like, this is so good. Like I was eating up every second of it.
Yeah.
I was like, this is so good. And it's just so fun and lighthearted. And I think it was like the best choice she could have made to close out the show with the Midnights era.
For sure.
Obviously, it's like her most recent album, and technically it makes sense. But it's just so fun, and to like watch her perform it, I don't know, I love it. And I just feel like it's so underrated, and
Yeah.
I've grown to appreciate it so much, and I loved it. So bad.
Is that the era that had like the most songs? I'm trying to remember which one had like the most.
don't know.
I'm like, because if it was, as she should, because
Yeah,
like there is
they
so many
deserve
like
it.
great
'Cause
songs
there's like
in there.
4 or 5.
Yeah.
And I loved every moment.
Like there were so many emotional ones. There were so many ones that made you feel powerful.
honestly,
Like,
I wish that she had a longer set for Midnight.
I know, like there were so many like songs I could think of from the top of my head that I'm like, why didn't she include this song?
Yeah.
Or this one.
Or
this
some
one.
of the 3 a.m. version songs.
Yeah.
Because that, like, for Midnights, I love the 3 a.m. version.
I know, me
it's
too.
It's so good, and I really, really, really wanted to see them live, and I was like, ugh. But I'm still so happy we got to see some of them come to life, like Midnights, Lavender Haze, like, it's
All
just
of them.
chef's kiss.
Chef's kiss all the way. What did you think of the openers? Did you like any of them?
Yes, but not as being honest, not as much as Taylor herself.
Literally.
I was in.
We know who we came to see.
I'm gonna be honest. I was in line getting merch, and I almost missed the start of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that just kind of it was what it was. But it was okay.
When you went to the concert, who was the opener?
So I was so upset because we got there so early. Like we had everything planned down to the minute. What we didn't plan for was the line being that long. So We had Gracie Abrams that night, and I was so excited because I love Gracie Abrams. Like, I've learned to like love her so much. Also, we have the same name, so I kind of love her a lot more.
Yes.
And I was like, oh my gosh, like I can't wait. Well, I was like, if she's in the second set of openers, I was like, that's great because by the time we get merch, she should be done. Well, ironically enough, she had gotten sick. So they switched where she was for the openers because she was sick, and she also had a shorter set. So I had no idea that she had performed. And on top of that, we were getting merch, I'm not kidding you, as the clock went on the screen at the concert. And so we're buying the merch, trying to hand the people like our cards, like take our money, we need our shirts, we gotta go. And so I'm not kidding you when I say me and one of my best friends, we sprinted to our seats so we could be there for the opening. We made it, but I'm not kidding you, it was down to the wire. It was crazy. So I didn't really get to see many of the openers, I just saw Taylor. But that's what I came for, so it's okay. I'm not complaining too much.
Yeah, it's fine. Because she had a lot, didn't she?
Yeah, she had a lot.
She would switch them on and off. Like,
I was kind of hoping to see Paramore, but that didn't happen, so it was just kind of like,
I know.
But, you know, I got to see Taylor, so I'm gonna hope that, that was enough for me.
Because even like when she went to Mexico, wasn't it Sabrina Carpenter?
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, so another different
When she
opener.
decided to bring her out, I was like, ooh, that was smart.
Yeah.
That was smart.
I literally was like, why couldn't it be like here?
Come on.
Like,
Bring her over here.
Literally.
Why not? What are you thinking?
You already brought everybody else.
Maybe next
What's
time?
one more?
Maybe next time?
Maybe next time.
tour?
Maybe an extended
Question mark?
version?
I don't know. I hope.
I hope so too. Did you get any bracelets on tour? I brought mine.
I
They're from the
did.
movie.
Did you trade with anyone?
I did actually. I didn't think anybody would do it at the movie.
Yeah.
Because like I feel like everybody's like all introverted, but especially from the many TikToks I've seen of like people like wearing like so many, and then they didn't even trade because they were just so like
Kind of to themselves.
Yeah. But no, literally me and my niece, we walked in, we went to go get like our popcorn and like the cup, and there was like these two girls. They were like, "Do you want to trade bracelets?" And I'm like, oh, "Yes!" Like, yes, let's do it. And then like they would see us, and that started like a thing where like everybody was like, "Oh my God, let's do it, let's do it." I'm like, "Just take it." And then
Why not?
like and then we're just like trading. And I was like, "This is at the theaters. That's just crazy to me."
Yeah.
I'm like, this is the experience that I wanted from the concert.
And you still got to have it.
Yes, and I didn't think everybody would like do it, but like my niece was like, "Oh my God!" Like we had like probably 10 on each.
Really?
We ended up with so many different ones, and I was like, "Oh."
It's so sentimental and cute in the fact that it was inspired by like a lyric. It's
literally
crazy.
Yes, because like I told my niece, I'm like, "You know what song we're talking about?" She's like, "Yeah," and then she told me, she's like, "What if she sings it?" I'm like, "It's not on the set," and then she's like, spoiler alert, I'm like, it's one of the surprise songs.
Yeah.
And she freaked out. She was like, "Oh my God, is this song?" And I'm like, "Yes." It was such a moment. I'm like,
so cool.
She knew what she was doing because like everybody was wearing the bracelets to the concerts. Like
It only made sense.
Yes.
Yeah. When I went to the concert, I had plenty. Me, my mom, and my sisters, we all like had a day where we just made the bracelets.
Yeah.
And
That's so cute.
In of itself, like it was so fun, like making the bracelets with my sisters and stuff. But then getting there and seeing everyone have theirs, like was cool. But honestly, I'm not gonna lie, it was really intimidating because I was so scared to ask people to trade.
Yeah.
And so eventually, when we were in line for merch, I kind of started asking people. But I will say the part that threw me off, like in the best way, was that I had walked off from the line for a minute to go get food for me and my mom. And so I saw a little girl who stopped me and she was looking at my bracelets. And the mom comes up to me and was like, "Hey, like she wants to trade, like would you mind?" I was like, "Of course." So I go up to her, I was like, "Hi," I was like, "I like your bracelets." She was like, "Really?" And I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "Do you want one of mine? Like we could trade." She was like, "Oh, no way." And I was like, "Yeah." And so I don't know, it made my night knowing that like little girls like her like were looking forward to it just as much as I was at like the age of like 19, 20. You know, it also like full circle moment, like because I remember being a fan at age 6, you know, so I can only imagine what it was like for her to experience that and to get to, you know, share that with a random stranger. It's just so sweet. So yeah, it was
You made
so
her
cool.
night.
I hope I did.
Yes.
Because it was so, like she made my night, I'm not gonna lie. So it was really, really cool. Okay, what would you rate the concert?
Honestly, the Eras Tour movie concert?
Yeah, 1 out of 5. 5 being the best.
I would say I would want to like give it a 5, but I would have to give it a 4.
Okay.
Just because there were some songs that were cut out.
Okay,
like
that makes a
songs
lot of
that I
sense.
was looking forward to.
Yeah.
And like I would tell my niece, I'm like, "Oh my God, this one's coming up. This one's
Yeah.
coming up," and it would
Know
not.
that you
And I'm
missed
like,
out is kind of
yes.
like, ugh.
Like, I wanted that one. I hope there's an extended version, but
I was kind of thinking the same thing.
I really hope so. If it is, like, honey, I can go up to a 5 real quick.
I'll change my rate.
Yeah, but I'll have to give it a 4.
Yeah.
What about you?
I have to give it a 5 out of 5. It was just
As you
so
should.
fun. Like getting to relive it all. I mean, it was such a nostalgic experience.
Yeah.
Like, it was so much fun. I enjoyed every single moment of it. So 5 out of 5 for me, for sure.
Actually, I changed my answer. 4.5.
4.5 out of 5.
Yeah. I'm like, cause like the whole experience, like you said, like going through every single eras, and like she went all out with everything.
Yeah.
Like you have to, like it's not
You
just
can't not appreciate
I
it.
know. So yeah, I changed my answer. 4.5. Yeah. Thank you for watching this episode of Coog Cinema Reviews. My name's Sylvia.
I'm Grace, and we'll see y'all next time.